Hello everybody, Ian Robson here with a fishing experiment. Today we're going to look at how you can find fishing spots from the bank. So here I am in Carleton Place, Ontario. I'm on Google Maps, as you can probably see. And here's a couple of little tips and tricks you can use. So let's say right here, here's the main city right here. One thing you want to look out for is bridges. So usually with bridges, you can actually just fish right off the bridge in some cases, or fish really close to it. So the best way I can just suggest is to find out whether you can actually fish off the bridge is by using Google Street View. So here we are in Google Street View, and here you can take a look at this little place right here. So you can see right here through Google Street View that you can actually fish right all around this area right here very easily. So you might want to keep an eye out for signs that might say no fishing, because it's possible to see those signs sometimes. So for this area right here, it might be good for fishing at some point. You never know. But it is a way of locating specific spots. So maybe in the spring, we got a little bit of moving water here. Okay, so let's see what we can find. Let's go back to this view. Okay, so that's where that little part was there. So if we go up here, here's another little spot right here, right by a bridge again, and here's a good little place to identify whether you can fish here. So let's bring it down here. Looks like there's a walkway along here on the side, so you can easily just come here and walk down that path and fish right from the bank right there. And it looks like it's a pretty good little area as well. Sometimes you can actually see, depending on the time of the year, when the Google car went by, you can actually see stuff like whether there's weeds there or not. You could also tell how high the water is and those types of things. So it actually can be quite helpful. So that's one way you can do it, just by looking at where the bridges are. And bridges are generally good places because the water is a bit deeper around bridges. And also the fish tend to hang around the pilings. So that's a good way of identifying whether it's a good spot to fish or not. So here's another spot right here. Looks like it's a bit deeper right here, so you could easily there's a spot right over there that you could easily fish from. So that's one of the ways you can identify spots for fishing. One of the other ways you can identify spots to fish from the bank specifically is look for some of the trails. So in this case, this is the Mississippi River Trail right here. And often, not always, but often, the Google cars will actually go on the trails or have people walking on the trails so you can actually see. So if we go back down here and drop our little guy right here, you can see that there's a trail right here, and that means it actually goes parallel to the river right there. So you can actually use that trail and as a way of getting to different areas on the river or lake you're at. So you can fish all along this bank, and then you can also come down the other side along the rapid. So maybe if there's trout in there, you can also do that. And that's an easy way of determining whether you can fish from the bank. So that's one of the ways you can find spots, or a couple of ways you can find spots to fish from the bank. Another thing you can use is something like Navionics.com. And what this will give you is it'll give you the depth of the water. So you can identify certain areas that might be good from the bank. So for example, if we look right here on this Rockcliffe Parkway, which is in Ottawa, I believe, you can see the depth right here. So it says 7.9. So if we change it to feet, that's in feet. So 7.9 feet here, 5.9. So you can see how some areas might be good if you have like a point, for example, if there's a drop off. So here's an example, is an area right here where it actually has a little bit of a hump. Might be a good area to fish close to there. Now the problem you're going to run into is like the distance from the shore to some of those areas sometimes, but other times it may be fairly easy, just depending on what you are looking for. Another way you can do it is if we come out of here, and this is Ottawa again, it looks like, and what you can do is, let's go to the Ottawa River down here. So if we look, one of the other ways you can identify spots to fish from the shore would be looking for marinas or docks. In this case, this is the Nepean Sailing Club, and you can actually fish all along here. So if we bring our little street view down here, it'll give you a bit of an idea what it looks like around here. So you can actually see that you can fish all along the outside here, probably not on the inside. You may have to call the business first to see whether they allow it or not, because some businesses don't. But as you can see, there's a big long park here, and you can fish all along there. So sometimes marinas like this will have like a big wharf type scenario, or like a big piece of land that actually protects the actual marina itself. Another good way to identify places to fish from the bank. Of course, you can always just call the marina or the dock, wherever you're looking to fish, and ask them if there is fishing allowed, and whether the people actually are successful there as well. That's another way you can actually identify some areas to fish from the bank. I hope you found this helpful. My name is Ian Robson from the Fishing Experiment, and if you enjoyed yourself, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Catch you guys later.